Mindfulness is something that has become very popularized in recent years. And the reason is that in modern life we have become more distracted than ever before. And what mindfulness is trying to do is to bring us back into the present moment. And just enjoy this present moment that we're experiencing right now. And why do I have an orange in my hand? Because I'm going to do a mindfulness exercise right now. So it's about concentrating on the 5 senses. So sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. So sight, and interestingly, when the camera is rolling here and I'm on camera, for some reason I'm more mindful than I normally am. I'm quite distracted. I think it's just because everything's so immediate that I'm under a microscope, kind of literally, that I'm actually quite mindful now. I'm not thinking of anything else really, apart from this satsuma, which is what the idea is. So the sight of this satsuma and focusing on it. And it's got bruises on the skin, which makes it look more natural. It's not polished or anything. But then it does have shiny bits and the colour is beautiful. It's orange with darkened areas and reddened bits. And then it's got some yellowy bits, which all look very beautiful. And then it's got its green stem. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. That's the sight. Now the sounds. I'm going to open the satsuma and listen to what that sounds like. And it sounds like you can hear just the release of the orangey bits inside from the skin. Bit of ASMR there. So the sound is a very subtle one, but it's kind of a suction sound. It's like it's been wrapped in a vacuum seal and we're releasing the orange within. And now I'm going to smell this. So the skin actually smells lovely. It's obviously very citrusy smell, but because it's the skin, it's kind of got a duller kind of version of it. And you can imagine that being lovely in a cake, just chopping up that skin and little bits of it in a cake, adding a kind of a nice citrusy but yet a nice hard texture to maybe a cake. And now the smell of the satsuma itself. It's quite subtle because the smell hasn't been released yet, because I haven't opened one yet, but let's see. Okay, if I open, it's quite subtle and it's an incredibly natural smell, as you'd expect. So then the touch. So the skin has quite a smooth touch to the inside of it, and that's kind of lubricating the orange inside, but it's got nice little ridges there as well, probably from the edges of the satsuma pieces. So that's the inside. It's kind of almost got a leather touch, kind of reminds me of leather. And then the skin itself, initially I expected it to be smooth, but it's actually feels like there's a million ridges and indentations on the outside of it. And it's just fascinating to think that nature has designed this probably in the optimal way to protect the seeds within here, and also against weathering. I mean, you can imagine it has to be protected against wind and rain, and probably designed to absorb sun, the skin. So it's obviously got a tough exterior to it, and yet it will tear. So it'll tear reasonably easily. So the touch is, again, very natural, bumpy, slightly ridgy, leathery feel to it. And finally, taste. So let's see what it looks like to taste the satsuma. So it's only slightly bitter, quite ripe, and it's cold, and it feels cold now going down my throat. It's beautiful. The pulp adds a kind of texture to it, kind of fairly a rigidity, and then when you bite through, there's just a free juice, watery juice. So that's a mindfulness exercise you could try yourself. Get anything. A raisin will do well. And feel the texture of the raisin. Smell it. Look at it and see what it looks like. Taste it. And hear it. The sounds it can make. Perhaps when you're touching it. And we eat food so fast these days that we forget to mindfully enjoy it. So if you can, take some time out and mindfully enjoy little pieces of fruit or any food using your 5 senses, then it's a totally different experience. I mean, I'm looking at it now and it's a beautiful kind of shape. I mean, nature has designed that in a perfect way, and I'm just looking at it. It's like it's an arc, a section of an arc of a circle with veins running through it, and then it's little rope to connect it to the rest of the fruit up here, and it's just carrying this beautiful juice which is full of vitamins and nutrients that are passed on to animals like ourselves. See what it tastes like with my eyes closed. Perhaps the other senses will be enhanced. It's a very simple, beautiful fruit, which is packed full of goodness and nutrients, which my body wants and is enjoying. So mindfulness is about being in the moment. And here you've got the sound of waves lapping at the wall here. And it's just lovely, it's beautiful. The sun is setting behind me. Clouds are forming different colours. Some of them are nice and white and some are nice and grey. And there's nice sounds around me, particularly the lapping of the water. It's very peaceful. The water is very clear, I'm noticing. There's a train going by. The sky is fairly overcast today. I can see from the pullback towers that the wind is coming from the west, and that's why it's nice and warm. I can feel just warm air rubbing up against my arm. I mean, it's mid-October, but it's still beautiful weather and warm air going by. So the sights around me are beautiful clouds, trains going by, lovely water, deep, beautiful clear water. The sounds are of activity, trains, lapping water, people, birds singing. The smells, I can smell the kind of salt, watery, seaweedy smell. Touch of a satsuma and the taste of fruit. Try some mindfulness, either with eating a piece of fruit like a satsuma, or a raisin, or an apple. An apple would be a great one because you can hear the crunch and it's very visceral that way. Let me know if you try mindfulness and how you get on with it. Let me know in the comments, pop a comment in, and I'll see you next time.